It's your girl Anita flying high. Welcome to Anita's Joint, hashtag extendAJoint, where every day is payday, baby. And it's your girl Anita flying high, like I said. And today we are reading Number Games 9/11 to Coronavirus by Zachary K. Hubbard. Shout out to Zach. You can check out Zach's YouTube on Gematria Effects News 22 and the Gematria Effects Sports. Um, we are reading chapter 16 today. It's a pretty lengthy chapter. Um, and we're going to be going in Kobe and, rest in peace to him and his daughter and everything. Um, it's funny because it's right now, it's 8:23 a.m. And like today is the day, 8/23, 2020. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and get in. I may take some stops during this day. During this read, based upon how long it is and everything. But we're still. Let me see. Happy full moon. We're still feeling the full moons from yesterday. But let's get in it. All right. Let's get in here. Chapter 16. Okay. Chapter 16, Kobe Bryant's burial and the NBA's March 11th suspension. Coincidence? It's not a word many use far too often to explain away things are. Oh, sorry. Coincidence. It's not a word many use far too often to explain away things that are not. For example, many would claim it was a coincidence that LeBron James passed Kobe Bryant in points scored in what was Kobe Bryant's hometown in the Lakers' one game of the season in Philadelphia, thus a 1 out of 82 chance because the Lakers play an 82 game schedule and only one game at Philadelphia each year. Game equals 82 with reverse simple English. Those same people would likely also call it a coincidence that LeBron James passed Kobe Bryant in points scored while playing for the Los Angeles Lakers. And then the next day, Kobe Bryant died in Los Angeles. Exactly what was reported to have been happened January 25th and January 26th, 2020, respectively. They would also call it. They would also. They would likely also call it a coincidence that Kobe Bryant was then buried in Corona del Mar in the same time of a coronavirus outbreak. They might even call it a coincidence that LeBron James got his 24th tattoo on his body in tribute to Kobe, who wore 24, with a picture of a black snake and the words Mamba for life, days after Kobe's death. And after passing Kobe Bryant in points, scored on Philadelphia's court that was decorated with a black snake chopped into pieces from the join or die flag. They likely even call it a coincidence that the Lakers became 24-8 at home after defeating the Los Angeles Clippers when the NBA returned from its coronavirus break, July 30th, 2020. Despite 24-8 being the jersey numbers of Kobe Bryant. And they might even call it a coincidence that Beyonce won her 24th Grammy at the Staples Center, where the Lakers play on the same day Kobe died, being the same woman that opened up his memorial with a song on the 24th of February in the same building. But if you show them what is in the remaining pages of this chapter, you might very well cure their coincidence theory problem. Information is the key, and those same people might have not heard of a death pool or gematria, or how it is used ritualistically. And in that regard, here is what is interesting about Kobe Bryant's death in light of a death pool in Gematria. Okay. First, the way the odds for the first the way the odds for a death pool work are by taking the age of a person and subtracting it from 100. So, in case of Kobe Bryant, who died at 41, you would subtract 41 from 100, meaning Kobe Bryant paid 59 to 1 in a death pool, huge odds. This becomes interesting because Kobe Bryant was known as the Black Mamba, and he crashed in his Black Mamba painted helicopter in Calabasas, where both the names Black Mamba and Calabasas sum to 59 with simple English, the same as blues, Rasta, Negro, and slave. This is why at first it was reported that 5 people were killed, including Kobe Bryant and his daughter in the crash, before the death toll jumped to 9 killed, 59. This is why it was a later report that Lisa Marie Presley's son died in Calabasas, Jan, sorry, July 12, 2020, a date with 59 numerology. The grandson of Elvis Presley, a name equating to 59 with Pythagorean Gematria, who was once accused of making black music. As you recall, the number 59 is encoded into black history in a number of ways. The establishment year of Motown, 1959, to the fact that Black History Month, February, ends on the 59th day of the year, except for in leap years. And while death pools and betting on them might not be common amongst ordinary people, we are talking about the games of those who are often referred to as elites. Again, I'll ask you to read and listen to the lyrics to the song Murder by Numbers, a song about how killing is the sport of the elite. And it is as simple as ABC is 1, 2, 3. And as you read and listen, consider how games such as the knocking off of celebrities for the sake of winning a death pool could fit into the schemes that are strung about. Moving on, the man born Kobe Green Bryant, summoning to 54 with Pythagorean Gematria, and his daughter Deanna Bryant, also summoning to 54 with Pythagorean, shocked the world when they were reported dead exactly 1 week before Super Bowl 54. To an unexpected to the unexpected public, even though the event had been foretold nearly a decade in advance in the 2001 film The Black Mamba that we'll soon get to. Keep in mind their respective ages, 41 and 13, add up to be 54. And as you know, the number 54 connects the Jesuit order and and their logo, the sun, both equating to 54. The latter being the object that is measured in a 24-hour cycle. Similar to how Kobe Bryant finished his career with the jersey number 24, after beginning his career with the number 8. Two numbers that, when added together, equate to 32, reminding us of the number of sun rays in the Jesuit logo, 32. With regards to the sun and the Gregorian calendar that is based on the solar cycle, you will notice that the name Kobe Bryant and the phrase solar cycle are identical in all 4 base ciphers, equating to 41, 58, 113, 157. Numbers we will come to understand very well before the end of this chapter, especially in how they relate to the life of Kobe Bryant and what really happened the day he was reported dead. his 157th day of being 41 years old. As we move through the chapter, keep in mind that Sun God sums to 26, like Bryant, and he died on the 26th day of the Gregorian calendar of the Gregorian year in the 74th NBA season. While having a first name Kobe, equating to 33 in simple English, as you as you have learned, the numbers 33 and 74 are often brought together, seemingly to tribute seemingly in tribute to Jesus, summoning to 74, and summoning to 74, the same as cross, the former being the man who is believed to have been crucified at age 33, and who existed and whose existence is debated, and sometimes debated as being the Son of God, as opposed to the Son of God, like S-U-N. With these parallels between Jesus and Kobe in mind, the latter being a man who is truly worshipped by many of his oh, and with these parallels between Jesus and Kobe in mind, the latter being a man who is truly worshipped by many for his athleticism, professional success, and celebrity, it is only fitting then that crucify sums to 41 with reverse Pythagorean, matching Kobe's Bryant's age of demise. Where we are right there. And sorry, I got. I'm looking to see where we're at on the thing. And keep in mind, Kobe Bryant died. Um, oh, I missed something. My bad, y'all. I missed like a little chunk. Yeah, okay, that's why I was like, what the fuck? Why am I not reading? My bad. Let me read where because I missed the whole part. It says, oh yeah, S-U-N-S-U. Okay. As you learned, as you have learned, the numbers 33 and 74 are often brought together, seamlessly in tribute to Jesus, summoning to 74, the same as cross, the former the former being the man who is believed to have been sacrificed. I mean, the former being have been crucified at age 33, and whose existence is debated and sometimes debated as being the Son, S-U-N, of God, as opposed to the S-O-N of God. Okay, and in that breath, keep in mind, Kobe Bryant died on Sunday, the Catholic day of worship, named in honor of the Son. With these parallels between Jesus and Kobe in mind, the latter being a man, the latter being the man who is truly worshipped by many for his athleticism, professional success, and celebrity, it is only fitting then that crucified sums to 41 with reverse Pythagorean, matching Kobe Bryant's age of demise. Okay. As for the parallel to Super Bowl 54, it becomes all the more curious when you realize that Kobe Bryant alone subs to 41 with Pythagorean, the same as Super Bowl, and that Patrick Mahomes' number 15 became 26 for 41 on passing attempts after connecting with Damian Williams, number 26. 15 plus 26 equals 41 on the Chiefs for a touchdown, helping add 7 points to the scoreboard and giving his team the lead for the first time in the game. A word equating to 26 in Super Bowl. A word equating to 26 in Super Bowl 54, 7 days after Kobe Bryant died on the 26th of January at the age 41. And again, Bryant, like Jordan, sums to 26 in Pythagorean, the God number, bringing Kobe Bryant's death even closer to the sport of football. January 26, 2020 happened to be, bringing Kobe Bryant's death even closer to the sport of football. January 26, 2020 happened to be the 37th year anniversary of the death of Bear Bryant, who passed January 26, 1983, a man who is considered the greatest college football coach of all time, and who will coach for Alabama, where Forrest Gump played. It was only fitting that he would die in 83 then, because football sums to 83 with simple English, similar to how basketball sums to 22 with Pythagorean, and Kobe died in 2020. The same year David Stern died, who became the commissioner of the same year David Stern died, who became the commissioner of the National Basketball Association, the NBA, in 1984, before dying on January 1st, 2020, a date with 2020 numerology, which stands out because both Dave and Stern sum to 22 with Pythagorean, the same as basketball, connecting back to the key digits in 2020, 2 and 2. As for why I bring up the part about the 37th year anniversary, it is because the name Bryant sums to 26 with Pythagorean theorem, or Pythagorean Gematria, like dying on the 26th of the month, and 37 with reverse Pythagorean, like dying on the 37th year anniversary of the Bear Bryant, and similar to dying on the 157th day of his own age, because 157 is the 37th prime number. To further illustrate the significance of 26, in light of both Bryant's dying on January 26, and not to be confused with A.L. Bryant of the Temptations, who died on October 26, we need to revisit the college football championship won by Alabama on January 8th, 2018. We will examine this game because it was from recent history, and it was when Nick Saban won his sixth college football championship, tying Bear Bryant for the most college football championships ever. Not by chance, he did it by scoring 26 points, beating Georgia 26-23 on the date of January 8th, 2018. So I asked, is it a coincidence both Georgia and Los Angeles equate to 37, the latter being where Kobe Bryant and his daughter died? In light of the tragic news from the 26th, that of Kobe Bryant dying at the age 41, along with his daughter at the age 13 in LA, equating to 41 and 13. That same Alabama championship game was won by Nick Saban to tie Bear, a name also summoning to 26, concluded in overtime with a 41-yard pass touchdown from the quarterback wearing number 13 to the receiver wearing number 6, and the beautiful mathematically driven riddle. Because 41 is the 13th prime and 13 is the 6th prime. The winning quarterback named Tua sums to 6 as well, and he brought home Nick Saban's 6th championship, despite being down 0-13 at halftime. Adding to the riddle of 26, the winning play with 26 points from Alabama happened on second down and 26. That was set up by taking a purposeful big loss on the down prior. Keep in mind, Nick Saban was coaching Alabama, Bear Bryant's old school, summoning to 13 in Pythagorean Gematria, the 6th prime number. As for the greater meaning of 26 and 6, it goes back to Genesis 1:26, where mankind is made in the image of God on the 6th day, and where 6 equates to 2, and where 6 spelled out equates to 26 with Pythagorean. Similar to how Adam subs to 26 in reverse Pythagorean, the name God gave to the first man. The numbers 26 and 6 also remind us of Pope Francis, the first Jesuit pope, the 266th, and the fact that Kobe Bryant died while traveling from Catholic Mass. Let us not forget the value of Aegis Amorum Salvator, equating to 266, because as we'll soon get to, Kobe Bryant died 266 days after his wife's May 5th, 2019 birthday, the day she turned 37. He was also drafted into the NBA on June 26, or 26-6, in 1996. And for the record, Aegis Hominum Salvator means Jesus, Savior of men, a phrase equating to 211, the same as Black Mamba. And in Kobe's case, he died 211 days before the next Kobe Bryant Day, August 24th, 2020, celebrated on 8/24 in Los Angeles annually. The celebration began in 2016, the year Kobe retired from the NBA, and on the date August 24th, because Kobe wore the numbers 8 and 24. The number 211 or 211 is also the 47th prime, and Kobe's Bryant died on a date with 47 numerology, a number connecting to the Vatican that was established in history on February 11th or 2/11 in 1929. Sadly, on February 11th, 2020, it was reported that Joseph Shabalala had died at age 78, and reminding us that Kobe was born in 78 and Shabala was born in 41, which makes the parallel between the two men's death all the more clear. At the same time that Joseph Shabalala was, at the same time, okay, it made the two men's death all the more clear. It was that Joseph S. was the singer for the band Ladysmith Black Mambazo, equating to 211 with simple English, similar to Black Mamba, equating to 211 was reverse simple. Thus, it was a very sick joke. On the 30th anniversary of Nelson Mandela being freed on the 42nd day of the year, and also on the Vatican's 91st birthday, the 13th triangular number. I'm going to turn on my ear. Turn off my English. Had to get my had to get my tea. Okay, on the subject. On the subject of 13, and to get back to the Alabama championship for a moment, it was January 3rd of the year of, okay, it, on the subject of 13, and to get back to the Alabama championship for a moment, it was January 3rd of that year, or 1/3, like 13, that Donald Trump, the winner of the 58 U.S. presidential election, announced he was going to be attending the Alabama championship. One of many signs that the game was all about 13 and in favor of Alabama, equating to 13 before it was even played. And as we stated, the day after hearing the news, it was a done deal. The game was Alabama's, and it would be all about the number 13, and it was, with the biggest storyline being the number 13, Tuna. Oh my good, Tua, not Tuna, but Tua. What is his name? Um, yeah, that guy's name, replacing Jalen Hurts, number 2 at halftime, down 0-13 and coming back to win the championship under the highest pressure. And if you want to get cute, 2 has a Pythagorean of 13. Oh, 2 has a Pythagorean value of 13. And if you want to get cuter, There were 49 points scored in the game in total. 4 plus 9 equals 13. And now, this year, in 2020, Tua was drafted by the NFL's Miami Dolphins, a city that's name begins with the 13th letter, M, becoming the first quarterback to wear 13 for the Dolphins since Dan Marino, who was coached by Don Shula, who passed recently at age 90 on May 4th, 2020, a date with 13 numerology. And even before being it, and even more being written 5/4 after Miami hosted Super Bowl 54. His date of passing also came 13 weeks and 1 day after Super Bowl 54, reminding us that Super Bowl sums to 131. And in the light of Don Shula dying at 90 on May 4th and being a Miami legend, never mind that Miami sums to 54. Oh shit. Never mind that Miami sums to 45 with the simple English and 90 with reverse simple, or that the date can be also written /5 like 45, corresponding with the Pythagorean and reverse Pythagorean values of 13, equating to 45 with both. For your learning, 45 is the ninth triangular number, and 9 represents completion. In numerology terms, both 45 or 45 and 90 equate to 9 as well, thus making Don Shula's completion ritual all the more fitting, especially after Super Bowl 54, another number having 9 numerology. And for more familiar numbers, you may have noticed I brought up Donald Trump being the winner of the 58th U.S. presidential election in light of his January 3rd announcement about attending Alabama's championship. I did that because Alabama sums to 158 with reverse simple English, similar to how Kobe Bryant sums to 58 with reverse Pythagorean, and similar to how Forrest Gump, set in Alabama, sums to 58 with reverse Pythagorean and also 158 with simple English. And for another, that boy's name, what is it? Tua Naga Manuel Polo Tagavolo. I don't know that guy's name. Let's call him TT. Equates to 158 with reverse Pythagorean, the Star Alabama product, who is now off to the Jesuits and Scottish Rite controlled NFL, where once again the Jesuits were formed in France on 15/8 or August 15th. And Freemasonry sums to 158 with reverse simple English and also 58 with Pythagorean. For another synchronicity between the deaths of Kobe Bryant and Bear Bryant, as we have learned, the name Kobe Bryant equates to 157. And having been born August 23rd, 1978, he died on his 157th day of his age, 41, which again becomes all the more curious when you recognize that Kobe Bryant equates to 41 and 157. Regarding the number 157, it is the 37th prime, and in light of dying on the 37th year anniversary of Bear Bryant's passing, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, where the University of Alabama is located, sums to 157 with simple English. And with the number 157 in mind, Let us add to the list in light of the ritual of Kobe Bryant's very suspicious death while traveling from Catholic Mass in Los Angeles, a city equating to 37 with Pythagorean gematria. I gotta get my clothes right like at 9:10. So your girl's been up moving around. You know what I'm saying? Just another beautiful day, right? On the day of his demise, the Grammy Awards were being hosted at the Staples Center in LA, a building named something to 157 with simple English, where Kobe Bryant used to play his home games with the Lakers. During the Grammys, Alicia Keys, summoning to 41 with Pythagorean, the same as Kobe Bryant, paid tribute to his name. Also standing out is that the fact Beyonce won her 24th Grammy Award at the ceremony on the date of the death of number 24, Kobe Bryant. And in the building that is often referred to as the one Kobe built, if you think that's a coincidence, try again. When Beyonce was with Destiny's Child, they released the album The Writings on the Wall on the date of July 27th, 1999, and leaving 157 days left in the year. This matters because Kobe Bryant appears in the music video for the song Bugaboo off the same album, and the same song sums to 126, the same as Deanna Bryant, and corresponding with his date of death 1/26. Furthermore, that music video released after the album on Kobe's 21st birthday, August 23rd, 1999, where 21 is the number corresponding with Jesuit, as well as Lakers, using Pythagorean gematria for both, and corresponding with the fact that 1999 was 21 years before 2020. To take it further, Saturn sums to 21 with Pythagorean gematria, and Saturn is the sixth planet, corresponding with 21 being the sixth triangular number. Saturn is also connected to death and judgment, and in tarot, the 20th card is the judgment card, bringing us to 2020, the year of Kobe's demise. Keep in mind, tarot sums to 74, and so does Destiny's Child, because Kobe Bryant died during the 74th NBA season. And in light of the riddle running through Beyonce and her 24th Grammy on the day of Kobe Bryant's death, for her husband, Jay-Z, it was his 54th day of his age. And in case I'm giving you number shock, Kobe Bean Bryant equates to 54. Furthermore, he died 144 days after Beyonce's 38th birthday that fell on September 4th, 2019. And as you know, Jesuit order equates to 54 and 144. Never mind that September 4th is also Los Angeles' birthday. And for good reasons, it is because September 4th leaves 118 days in the year, and Los Angeles, California is not only located on the 118th meridian west, but it equates to 118 with the same as the name of the current mayor, Eric Garcetti. It also reminds us a little bit of how Los Angeles, California, and Paradise, California, both summoning to 118, burned on November 8th, 2018, emphasized on 11/8 in the deadliest California wildfires in history. It should also remind you that the word death has a simple English gematria of 38 and Jewish gematria of 118. Since Beyonce was 38 years old at the time of Kobe's tragic accident, and if you caught the July 4th news of the political candidate going by the name K.W. Miller, stating that Beyonce was really a member of the Italian Lastronian Lastrasia's family. The name Racia sums to 118 with simple English. And the prospect of her being Italian is very interesting because Kobe Bryant grew up in Italy, where his father also played professional basketball. Furthermore, the candidate said her real name was Anna Marie Lastrias. What the fuck? equating to 193 in the same cipher as Roman Catholic Church, and 67 like Italy, and 122 and 266 in the same ciphers as he's just Humam Salvatore, Jesus our Savior. Okay, what the fuck they saying Beyonce's Italian? What the fuck? What the fuck? Oh my gosh, that's crazy, yo. I really don't know what's real when it comes to these people in Hollywood. I really don't know. Shit, I wouldn't be surprised if Beyonce's it's just another name. It's her alias. You know what I'm saying? That's why I was like, you don't even know who these niggas' names are. Because then they kill themselves and then they resume like with a new fucking body. And all the plastic surgery, we don't know if Beyonce has that, but I mean, you just never, all you can do is be coincidence theorists, right? But I'm not surprised. Oh, that's some crazy stuff. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get my clothes. So we're gonna yeah, so back on the subject. Okay. So I'm gonna go get my clothes and then I won't have any stops until like you know what I'm saying? All right. Okay. Back. Come on now. Woo. Shit. Throat is heavy. A second. Very interesting. Okay. Do that. It's good. All right, back on the subject. Back on the subject of the Staples Center, it was also the same building that Steph Curry's record streak of 157 games with a three-point shot made came to an end. November 4th, 2016. At the same time, at the time, it reminded me of when Warriors' record home winning streak ended at 54 games at Oracle, equating to 54 with simple English. On April 1st, 2016, April Fool's Day, the same day that the Cavaliers picked up their 54th win of the season in back-to-back games that were broadcasted on ESPN, a network equating to 54 in two of the four base ciphers, and reminding us that Steph Curry and LeBron James were both born in Akron, Ohio, in the same hospital, only to have the fate of playing each other four straight times in the NBA Finals. The coincidences. And don't even get me started on Nate Thurmond, also born in Akron, Ohio, who had his jersey number 42 retired with the Warriors and Cavs, the same teams that met in four straight NBA Finals, led by Steph Curry and LeBron James, and who died at age 74, 27 days after LeBron scored 27 points in Game 7, defeating the Warriors on the real King James' birthday, June 19th, 2016, in what was his 103rd game of the season, the 37th prime. And we're right before the game. The actor Anton Yelchin died in a freak accident at age 27, having a 103 birth numerology, having been born March 11th, 1989. As we'll get to it, March 11th is a very important date to the NBA in terms of numbers, and it is the date the 74th NBA season would eventually be suspended. And it is the date, and it is the date the 74th NBA season would eventually be suspended on in 2020 due to coronavirus. And in this case of Yelchin, his birth year, 89, also mattered because King James sums to 89 with simple English, the same as religion, and reminding us of the 89 chapters that make up the gospel, the story of Jesus. Adding even more to the relevance of the number 89, Hours after Yachin's death, the Warriors would lose to LeBron's King James in Game 7 with 89 points. And let us not forget that occurred during LeBron James' 13th season, similar to how the real King James became a king at 13 months of age. And reminding us that the son of King James was King Charles, and the people who fought for them were called Cavaliers, just like the name of the team LeBron played for at the time, the Cleveland Cavaliers. It's all scripted, and because I listen to a lot of the people, there LeBron James may not even be a actual a person. Like he maybe have been created in a lab. Like some of these, they call them Mach. Rashad Jamal calls them Mach 5 robots. And I've seen plenty of videos of celebrities telling us that some rappers telling us that they've been they're clones. So you just have to realize, especially in sports, some of these players may not even be real. It's probably more in the men's game than the women, but some of the women may be actually men. So it is kind of confusing when you start to learn all this stuff. But that's if you want to get to the devil of the details. But it's all ritualistically done for certain players, right? No matter if they're a robot or not. All right. Moving on and continuing with the subject of 157, his number connects to many more important things regarding Kobe Bryant, including his father, who was once an NBA star himself, having been drafted by the Warriors before playing for the Philadelphia 76ers, the San Diego Clippers, and Houston Rockets. His nickname was Jelly Bean, equating to 157, as in Joe Jellybean Bryant. For another 157, Kobe's death was blamed on an accident, equating to 157 with reverse simple, the same as Jelly Bean. Furthermore, the day of his death, the WWE's 33rd Royal Rumble was taking place, corresponding with Kobe equating to 33. And for the first time in history, we saw, and they even tied the WWE to it. Goddamn. Okay, sorry. Furthermore, on the day of his death, the WWE's 33rd Royal Rumble was taking place, corresponding with Kobe equating to 33. And for the first time in the history of the WWE, a man from Scotland won the event. His name, Drew McIntyre, having a name equating to 157 with simple English, and reminding us that the top of the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, created the Jesuit umbrella, is the 33 degree. Keep in mind, Vince McMahon, a Scottish Rite Freemason, born on August 24th, 1945, Kobe Bryant's day, owns and operates the WWE, and he was 74 years old at the time of Kobe's death, reminding us that Kobe died on the 74th NBA season. And bear Bryant's full name, Paul William Bryant, sums to 74 with Pythagorean Gematria, the man who Kobe Bryant's death was coordinated with. For another 74, you can add Mahomes to the list, a name summoning to 74 by using simple English, and the surname of a man who appears to have shit, and the surname of a man who appears to have been a beneficiary of the greater Kobe Bryant death ritual, where you could say one star died and another was truly born by winning Super Bowl 54. Fucked up. Now I don't know. They have to know. Like they have to know. Like there's no excuse. I feel like they have to know this is what they do. They may not know the actual gematria numbers, but they have to know, like, yo, you're gonna profit off of Kobe's death. I hope you know that. Or maybe they don't. They're just completely unaware. And until they become aware, they're gonna be used in the number games, right? And it could be them. But then again, I'm like, what are they gaining in this? Being sacrificed, being reborn? Are they getting access to the next dimension? And what I'm saying, we call it because we want to be born in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension. So are they getting? What the fuck are they getting out of this? Because I mean, shit. They got the money. What else are you gaining? They must be gaining something to do all this fuckery. Or maybe they're just completely. They're more brains than bronze. I don't know. Shit. But they need to come across Zach's. They need to come across Zach's work because it could save their whole lineage. Unless unless they're cool with sacrificing their family for it. So, shit. All right. Continuing with the subject of 157, Kobe Bryant's father still is, continuing with the subject of 157. Kobe Bryant's father still is, and Kobe Bryant was a member of Boyle, as many black entertainers are. I bring this up because the date Joe Bryant was born, October 19th, 1954, was 157 days after the Boyles' 50th birthday, having been established May 15th, 1904. And don't overlook that his father was born in 54. In light of the sacrifice ritual that Kobe Bryant became a part of before Super Bowl 54, where in that game another black superstar in Black History Month put his stamp on the NFL, winning his first Super Bowl. It couldn't have been scripted any better. If you're not familiar with the Boyle, it is similar to the Prince Hall Freemasonry, which is Freemasonry for black men. It is for this reason Kobe Bryant's autopsy was released on May 15, 2020. On the anniversary date of the establishment of the Boyle, a fraternity also known as Sigma Pi Phi. With your Gematria lens, you can verify that Boyle and Sigma Pi Phi equate to 55 with our base ciphers. Similar to how the letters Sigma, Pi, and Pi, or Pi and Phi, 18, 16, and 21 of the Greek alphabet add up to 55. 18 plus 16 plus 21 equals 55. And it is for this reason Kobe Bryant's February 24th memorial was held at the Staples Center on the 55th day of the year. The last stat becomes all the more interesting when you recognize that Los Angeles Lakers sums to 257 with reverse simple, the 55th prime. And Kobe Bryant died on the 257th day of the Boyle's age. At the same time, blood sacrifice equates to 257 and 60, as well as 67. The latter number corresponding with the Gematria of Black Mamba and Calabasas, as well as 67 date numerology that he died on. The significance of 55 also explains why he was in an arranged marriage with Vanessa Bryant, a woman born May 5th or 5/5. And on the subject of her birthday, I should remind us Kobe Bryant died 266 days after her 37th birthday. As you have learned, 266 is a special number to the Jesuits through the gematria of their motto, Jesus Hameren Salvator, Jesus the Savior, equating to 266, and the fact that the first Jesuit pope is the 266. And this detail reminds us that modern Freemasonry and its many wings include the Boyle, a fraternity just for black men, are under the Jesuit umbrella, the divide and cartel, the divide and conquer. The detail reminds us that the modern Freemasonry and its many wings, including the Boyle, a fraternity just for black men, are under the Jesuit umbrella, the divide and conquer cartel. Like, our whole life, we've been lied to, like, every single day. It's like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? Now they got this whole agenda 201 and agenda 30 being implemented, being laid out, decade of vaccines being laid out, technology. Elon Musk just released his robot chick. You know what I'm saying? And Zach was live yesterday because Zach was live yesterday. He was talking about, how they want to, because, we talked about in chapter 6, it was like track and tracing, how like they want to be able to track how we're making money so we can pay taxes. So no underground money is being made while they make all the money on top. And it's really not about the money. It's about the control. But this money is something that we use to be able to put a roof over our head, right? That they tell us that we need to have, you know what I'm saying? But the jobs don't even have sufficient. These matrix jobs don't even support the roof, the housing we even, you know what I'm saying? And so then you got to find the loopholes in the matrix, stuff like that. And so it's crazy, right? It's not crazy. It's just like, like I said, they want to try to kill our spirits, bitch. When you think about it, when you really think about it, they can try all they want. Keep trying. They're gonna keep doing what they do, and the more people just be silent and give their power away, the easier they make it for themselves. Like, you have to use your voice. You have a voice box for a reason. Create your own fucking channel. Fucking share your story. Do whatever you can to let people know. Look. If we don't speak now for our freedoms, we won't have any by Agenda 2030. Matter of fact, we might be gone by then. Remember, if you haven't seen those videos of people on TikTok that were putting magnets next, like putting magnets, having silverware connected to their arms, right? Like, when all the 5G, because remember the 5G is where they have it's the fastest network, so they can be able to uh, pretty much it's like worldwide. It's like in the game Watch Dogs CTSO. It's worldwide, the whole globe, the whole they can see what's going on everywhere with that internet speed, right? So if you got 5G phones, most phones have 5G now. I mean, I got 3 phones, so some of my other phones don't are not 5G capable, but I got one phone that is 5G capable. But the other one is just 4G LTE. But Spectrum, your internet companies, they're rolling out the 5G and they're building towers, which is making the planet a lot more toxic. So you have to make sure you're staying at an equilibrium, make sure you're not toxic because, they say we are the virus within us. We are the virus, and we spread like a fucking virus. So make sure you're spreading the love virus than the fear virus, as it's already being put out to the world. But also, of course, they're spraying shit in the air to cover up shit they already done. So it's making hella toxic. I was just up. It's 9. It was like 9 something. I walked outside my apartment, and this chick, she's sweeping she's sweeping her porch with the mask on. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you, chick? Like, what the fuck? What? I don't understand, nigga. You at home, like you are outside your house and you're wearing a mask. She probably wears a mask in her house as well. Jesus, like what the fuck, people? I don't even know what to say. But fuck. Hey, what they let them be examples, right? I mean, hopefully. And then I go to the gym. I see all these fools with masks on, working out, sweating. They're doing the most too, lifting weights with their mask on. I'm like, what the fuck? Are you there? Hello, Earth to you. Like, can you breathe working out? You're doing the most. Just imagine if they made the athletes wear masks while fucking running around 90 minutes, playing basketball, playing football. Oh yeah, you need to wear a mask while you work out. I mean, while you're out here on the pitch, while you're out here on the court. You know how many more of them will be upset, right? But they want to make us wear masks in our regular day jobs. Let them get the fuck out of here, nigga. Like, make them niggas do it too. Nah, they ain't gonna do that. But when that happens, we'll see. But we continue to see the athletes wear masks before games, after games, just not during the games. But I mean, it's all reverse psychology to kill our spirits, to mock us, to be like, we look at all these fucking sheeple. You know what I'm saying? Look at all these sheeple. And you just gotta talk. I talk my shit because I it is what it is. But if you gotta wear one, if you fear for your life, after a year, after a year, you still fearing for your life. It's just like, damn, I guess so. I guess you deserve. I don't know. I guess. And then that's not that vibe shit. Like, I don't want to hate you, and I don't want to like not dislike you. But you're not helping the cause, okay? You're really not helping the cause. You're just acquiescing. You're just doing what you're told based upon the TV that has been lying to you your whole life. You're just doing what you've been told. And they don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about us, as you can see. They don't give a fuck about the athletes. It's fucked up. It's fucked up. It's fucked up. All right, let's get back. All right, for another 157 riddle, the NBA's All-Star Game was played on February 16th, 2020, a date with 58 numerology. And it was dedicated to Kobe Bryant, equating to 58, the same as Los Angeles Lakers, and the same as star. And for a reminder, all these words sum to 58 with the base ciphers. And they all relate to time. They are calendar, Gregorian, zodiac, solar calendar, star, and stars. Let us not foreigner, I guess forget. I guess you meant to say forget. It's funny because you see anyway, it doesn't matter. Anyways. Let us not forget the sun is considered our nearest star, or how Kobe Bryant relates to the solar cycle. And with the concept of all things being of God recognized, including time, the 4 letters of God, the tetragrammaton, the fuck? Psalms 258 as well. The tetragrammaton, tetragrammaton. I don't even know what that is. Psalms 258 as for 157, instead of playing with a clock game for the 2004, as for the 157, instead of playing with a game clock for the 2020 All-Star game, a target score was set at 157, meaning the first team to score 157 points was the winner. Sure enough, Team LeBron James won, defeating Team Giannis, scoring 157. And what makes this all the more creepy? It was is that prior to the coronavirus suspension, the NFL finals were originally set to begin on June 4th, 2020, precisely 157 days after LeBron James' December 30th birthday. The star of the Los Angeles Lakers, who joined the team after Kobe's retirement. Furthermore, heading into the 20th NBA playoffs. Oh, sorry. Furthermore, heading into the 2020 NBA playoffs, LeBron's postseason record is 156 and 83, meaning his next win is 157. Keep in mind the measurement of 157 days from LeBron's 35th birthday, and King James sums to 35 with Pythagorean Gematria, the same as Catholic, and the real King James became a Freemason when he was 35 years of age. Furthermore, the real King James died unexpectedly at age 58, and he was a Freemason and a Rosicrucian, the latter equating to 58, the same as Freemasonry, both with Pythagorean. If you break 58 down into numerology terms, 5 plus 8, it equates to 13. And then you can break 13 down to 1 plus 3 is 4. Recall LeBron, nicknamed King James, passed Kobe Bryant in points scored in Philadelphia, Kobe's hometown, dropping Kobe to fourth in scoring in NBA history. And as we learned earlier, the number 4 associated not only with tetragrammaton, tetragrammaton, but death, especially in the Far East, because it's both Mandarin and Japanese. You pronounce 4 the same way you pronounce death. And with Japan in mind, and the New World Order, or better said, the Jesuit Order, pulling the strings, I must mention that Kobe Bryant's death on 1/26 in the time of the 126th Emperor of Japan, Naruhito, and that Kobe, Japan was founded on April 1st, 1889, emphasized on 4/1. Similar to Kobe Bryant, equated to 41, dying at age 41. Okay. If you want to go even further, Naruhito took office May 1st, 2019, meaning the last day Kobe Bryant died was his 271st day as emperor, and 271 is the 58th prime. I should also mention, in light of LeBron James passing Kobe Bryant in points scored, that the NBA All-Star Game was captained by the stars of the Los Angeles Lakers and Milwaukee Bucks, the two teams that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar once played for. The same man who leads the NBA in all-time the same man who leads NBA in scoring all-time as of 2020. And never mind should Abdul-Jabbar sum to 74 with simple English. Coinciding with the death ritual in the 74th NBA season, and reminding us that Muhammad Ali, another athlete who changed his name to an Islamic name and who died at age 74. In light of the Islamic parallel between Abdul Jabbar and Ali, it should be noted that an infamous episode on South Park is titled 201, and it was banned because it outraged Muslims for the way it mocked the Prophet Muhammad. And let us not forget, Event 201 was held on this was held on the day leaving 74 days in the Gregorian calendar, in the Gregorian year. All right. For another, for yet another 157 pertaining to the premature death of the basketball star Kobe Bryant and Kanye West, along with for yet another 157 pertaining to the premature death of the basketball star Kobe Bryant and Kanye West, along with Bruce Willis, did a short film called The Black Mamba that was made for Nike, and that was released in February of 2011. What the fuck? They making noise outside? The film concludes that Kobe Bryant throwing a basketball with a bomb inside of it. The film concludes with Kobe Bryant throwing a basketball with a bomb inside of it at a helicopter that houses had escaping villains, played by Kanye West, leading to the helicopters exploding in midair. This obviously reminds us of Kobe. This obviously reminds us that of Kobe. This obviously reminds us of Kobe's fatal helicopter incident. If you look at the poster made by the film that depicts an exploding helicopter behind Kobe Bryant, at the top of it says, "You lose this road game, you don't go home," equating to 157 with Pythagorean Gematria. Again, this number connects to the Gematria of Kobe Bryant. And the fact that he died on the 157th day of his age, and the fact that the day before his death, the Lakers lost a road game in Kobe's hometown, Philadelphia, where LeBron James surpassed Kobe Bryant in all-time points scored, scoring an easy layup for the 54th point of the game for the Lakers, corresponding with the Pythagorean Gematria of Kobe being Bryant, as well as Gianna Bryant. I'd also add regarding the logo of the black snake on the court, it is from a join or die flag, and join or die equates to 54 with both Pythagorean ciphers. Furthermore, LeBron basket brought the score to 54 to 74 in the 74th NBA season, meaning that moments before he scored 52. The meeting before that, the score was 52-74. Thus, 126 points in total, similar to the date of his passing, 1/26, as well as Genesis 1:26 or 1:26. And the fact that Gianna Bryant sums to 126 with simple English, similar to Bugaboo, also equating to 126. Keep in mind, LeBron James passed Kobe on January 25th, a date that can be written 25/1, like 251, the 54th prime. And on the date, and on that date was this, and on a date that was 26 days after LeBron's birthday. Furthermore, Kobe died a span of 54 days from Bruce Willis' 65th birthday, March 19, 2020, who again also starred in The Black Mamba. And regarding Willis turning 65, Philadelphia equates to 65 with Pythagorean Gematria, reminding us that Kobe's father was 65 years old at the time of his death. And Philadelphia's date of establishment, October 27th, leaves 65 days left in a year. As you know, that is the pandemic number. And Kobe's death was woven into the web of coronavirus pandemic riddles when it was reported that he and his daughter were buried at Corona del Mar, equating to 56 and 70 in the same exact ciphers as coronavirus. Even further, it was reported that they were buried February 7th, the 38th day of the year, corresponding with the gematria of pandemic as well as art. Rest in peace. Making the span of days from the accident to the burial 13 in number. And further tying his death into the pandemic riddle, it was reported that Kobe Bryant was in a legal battle with pharmaceutical companies at the same time of his demise, over the fact that the company was attempting to capitalize on his Black Mamba branding without his permission. Of course, this was the same time when pharmaceutical giants in the 201 area code of the New Jersey and elsewhere were racing for the coronavirus cure. Y'all. Damn. There's so many rituals to Kobe's death. They really take their time and do this shit. Like, what the fuck? This fucking. This is some like. It's like, damn. That means that's how dedicated we have to be with our lives. Like, the fact that Zach did this, I'm so appreciative. He did all the research. I'm just reading the book. It's only 365 pages as well, so. Damn. I think I guess I can just read off the. Further bringing Kobe and Kanye West together, it was reported that the accident was very close to Kanye West's Calabasas home, and it came in a span of 135 days before Kanye's 43rd birthday, June 8, 2020. Connecting to the simple English gematria of Kobe Bryant, summoning to 135, and reminding us that where the boil was originally established and where Kobe was born. There is something special. Oh yeah, I can do that. There is something special about 135 in Philadelphia. that it is biblical. It is explained through Philadelphia's establishment date on October 27th, 1682, a date with 135 numerology. This number matters because Philadelphia is the name used in Revelation. And in the letter written to the Church of Philadelphia in Revelation 3:5, the key of David is mentioned, equating to 135 with simple English. And I promise you, from this day forward, when you pay attention to the Philadelphia sports and history, you notice a lot of 135 riddles. Case in point, Carson Wentz, as a rookie with the Philadelphia Eagles, set an NFL record, not throwing an interception until his 135 pass. Speaking of Carson Wentz, you might recall the time Kobe Bryant was in attendance at his game on December 10th, 2017, when the when the Philadelphia Eagles were visiting the Los Angeles Rams, and Kobe Bryant received national attention for singing "Fly Eagles Fly," the Philadelphia Eagles team song, equating to 135 and 54, in the exact same ciphers as Kobe Green Bryant. That was the game where the Eagles won, but Carson Wentz got badly injured, giving rise to Nick Foles, who led the Eagles to a Super Bowl victory over the Patriots in Minneapolis, the original home of the Los Angeles Lakers. I know my followers do because they hit for 6 times their money when the Eagles won that game as huge underdogs, who I predicted would be winning the symbolic game prior to facing the Patriots in the Super Bowl after just week 3 of the NFL season. And again, I was able to make this prediction because of what Donald Trump did on September 23rd, 2017, when he took on the NFL protesters of the national anthem and the U.S. flag, reminding us that the date is written 23/9, similar to 239, the 52nd prime. And the Super Bowl 52 was coming in Minnesota, equating to 52. And and more importantly, the flag was Sweden. So I don't know what he's saying. The flag, more importantly, the flag was what? Is that even a word? Where are we at right here? I think it meant to be seen. Yeah, the flag was seen. It has, yeah, some of the book has typos. I was like, okay, I was like, what? What kind of word is that? Okay, so the flag. More importantly, the flag was seen at 239 Arch Street in Philadelphia, a city that gets its name from the book of prophecy, Revelations, and where prophecy equates to 52 with Pythagorean and prophet equates to 98 with simple English. I bring up this part about 98 because Super Bowl 52 concluded the 98th NFL season, and it was hosted by Minnesota Vikings, where again Minnesota sums to 52 and Vikings sums to 98. So as we ask then, what could be more symbolic than the team with the flag on their helmet? The Patriots playing against the city that gave birth to the flag, Philadelphia, the city named after the Church of Prophecy. The answer came the next day when the Eagles' field goal kicker set a new team record with a 61-yard bank. This matters in Gematria terms because both church and Philadelphia equate to 61, along with Christian and Christmas, Jesus and cross. And if you're asking the logical questions that is to be asked, how do you make a 61 How do you make sure a 61-yard kick goes in? The answer is technology. In the balls that you're not ever allowed to take home in NFL or the NBA as a fan. Keep in mind 61 is the 18th prime and Eagles would make it. Okay, say it again. How do you make a 61-yard kick go in? How do you make sure a 61-yard kick goes in? The answer is technology. In the balls that you're not ever allowed to take home in the NFL or the NBA as a fan. Keep in mind 61 is the 18th prime and Eagles would take the Vince Lombardi trophy to start 2018. They put technology in the balls. I guess it's like magnets, just like people put magnets in their arms nowadays. You know what I'm saying? So I guess it's the same way, right? Ain't it fucked up? Oh my goodness. So sometimes some of these goals should never happen, especially in football. Like, how the fuck the ball move like that? Pop technology. See, what happened was, when the ball got near the post, it kind of got attracted to it. You know what I'm saying? And it hit that curve. She hit it real good, and then the magnet allowed it. The ball and the magnet allowed it to curve that way, all past the goalkeeper. And I'll probably stop with 10 pages left, and I'll read. I'll read halfway through chapter 16, and I'll come back later and read the rest. Because I'm not trying to. I know I'm not gonna read all of them in one sitting. All of this in one sitting. I'm gonna relax. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. All right. Adding to the riddle with the flag, the Patriots and Eagles have played each other in Super Bowl 39 13 years earlier, reminding us of the number of the stripes on the U.S. flag. And with 13 in mind, don't overlook the fact that the Eagles scored 41 points in Super Bowl 52, the 13th prime, or the deck of cards is 52 in number, and divided into 4 sets of 13. And don't overlook that NFL sums to 13 with reverse Pythagorean, or that USA sums to 41 with simple English, the nation that began with 13 colonies. Also, for the memory bank, the final score of Super Bowl 52 was Eagles 41, Patriots 33, for 74 combined points, in tribute to the nation born on July 4th, or 7/4. Having recognized the Super Bowl matchup months in advance, thanks to Donald Trump's September 23rd antics, and understanding how the number games unfold year after year, season after season, as we have been proving since 2014, it allowed me to call in advance that if the Eagles were to win, Zach Ertz, number 86 of the Eagles, would score the winning touchdown in Super Bowl 52, 86 days after his November 10th birthday, because the national anthem had been adapted by the U.S. 86 years prior to the 98th NFL season, thus bringing the riddle full circle. And sure as the sun, Zach Ertz scored the winning touchdown on a pass from Nick Foles, a man having NF initials or 14.6, similar to the birthday of Donald Trump, and the U.S. flag, June 14th. Even more, the name Nick Foles sums to 149 with reverse simple English, the 35th prime, and he defeated Tom Brady, also summoning to 35, on February 4th, 2018, the 35th day of the year, reminding us who wrote the script the same entity that controls the nation, the Catholic Church. Also, Julie Ertz is married to Zach Ertz, and she used to be Julie Johnson, right? And they probably were scripted to get married as well. It should also be noted that in the light of Donald Trump having the same birthday as the U.S. flag that was born in Philadelphia on June 14th, 1777, and president equating to 52, you can understand why the ritual would run through the presidency for Super Bowl 52 as it did. Keep in mind Super Bowl 52 played prior to the start of the 99th NFL season. That was a continuation of the same ongoing storyline where New England, summoning to 99, would go to win the Super Bowl in the most symbolic of fashion. To understand the symbolism, you must keep in mind the United States of America sums to 99, and it was named that on September 9th or 9/9 in 1776. Furthermore, 13 written out as a word sums to 99, reminding us that the 13 stripes of the U.S. flag and the 13 colonies, as well as the number of families that founded the Bavarian Illuminati, May 1st, 1776, a date with 99 numerology. Of course, in the 99th NFL season, the New England Patriots, led by 41-year-old Tom Brady, would defeat the team from LA, equating to 13 and 41, with a score of 13-3, giving Tom Brady his sixth Super Bowl ring, and reminding us that 13 is the sixth prime. And adding on to the riddle, the state of California joined the United States of America on September 9th, 1850, 74 years after the U.S. was named, the home state of the Los Angeles Rams, making them all the more perfect opponent for New England for the 99th season. We won't even touch on the fact that the Rams star Aaron Donald, equating to 99 with simple English, wears the number 99, or that his birthday is May 23rd or 5/23, similar to 523, the 99th prime, and that he had laid down in the Super Bowl against Old Man Brady, who led the Patriots into the 99th NFL season as a franchise with 520. We won't even touch the fact that the Rams star Aaron Donald, equating to 99 with simple English, wears the number 99, or that his birthday is May 23rd or 5/23, similar to 523, the 99th prime, and that he laid down in the Super Bowl against Old Man Brady, who led the Patriots into the 99th NFL season as a franchise with 523 wins before a single game was played, a major tell that the 99th season was theirs. And to get back on the subject of 157 and Kobe Bryant, there is another very important story to tell. That is of Damian Lillard, the man born July 15th, 1990, a date that can be written 15/7, like 157, stealing the show on Remembering Kobe Night, leading the Portland Trailblazers to a road win in Los Angeles, while being on the team from Oregon, the only state having the simple English gematria of 74 and also 33, and also being the 33rd state in order of statehood, perfect for Kobe's ritual in the 74th NBA season. This matchup only occurred on Remembering Kobe night because the Lakers and Clippers game was immediately rescheduled in the wake of his death, making the Lakers' next game in the Staples Center against the Portland Trailblazers. In terms of Gematria, Remembering Kobe sums to 263 with the 56 prime number, and Damian Lillard's sum equates to 56 with Pythagorean. Another tale for the numerical ritual that was created by the rescheduling of the Lakers' next game after the death of Kobe was the date of the game against the Blazers on January 31st or 1/31 was something like 131, the 32nd prime, corresponding with the gematria of Lillard equating to 32, as well as the sum of Kobe Bryant's jersey numbers, 8 plus 24. Plus, as you know, the Society of Jesus logo, a name equating to 56, has 32 center rings. From the game, Lillard would take the league by storm, tying Kobe's six-game scoring high of 293 combined points, the 62nd prime number. This was all in the leading days up to the NBA being suspended and the coronavirus pandemic being declared, a phrase equating to 293. As for the star's full name, Damian Lamont Ali Lillard Sr., Lillard, it equates to 118 with diagram gematria. And as a reminder, Kobe Bryant died in Los Angeles, California, equating to 118 on the 118th meridian west, 118 days after it was the top news on October 19th. Oh, fuck. It equates to 118 in Pythagorean. Damian Lillard's full name equates to 118 with Pythagorean gematria. And as a reminder, Kobe Bryant died in Los Angeles, California, equating to 118 on the 118th meridian west. 118 days after it was top news on October 1st that Lillard had a rap beef with Kobe's old teammate, Shaquille O'Neal, who was 47 years old at the time. Regarding the rap beef, on the same day of Kobe Bryant's Remembrance Day, where the Lakers lost at home to Damian Lillard's Blazers, Lil Wayne's new rap album, Funeral, equated to 32 with Pythagorean, the same as Lillard released. Keep in mind, Lil Wayne is a rapper having a birthday of September 27th, 1982, the same day the Jesuits were recognized by Rome in 1540. For the album Funeral, a curious title, releasing just 5 days after Kobe's death, the 8th track was titled Being James and featured 24 seconds of silence at the end to tribute Kobe. Also, the title Being James equates to 35 and 55 in the same ciphers as King James, as in LeBron, who was 35 years old at the time. The most important person in the riddle of Kobe's demise. After Kobe's death, whose death had much to do with 55. For another important point, the album was released 126 days after Lil Wayne's birthday, a rap name summoning to 101, the 26th prime, and reminding us of Kobe Bryant's 1/26 accident, reported along Highway 101 as another significance to the number 126, and the Jesuits from the death of Ignatius of Loyola, the first superior general of the Jesuits, July 31st, 1556, to the day he was replaced by Diego Lainez, July 2nd, 1558, was 701 days later, the 126th prime number. And for another point on the number 126, Knight claimed the first Air Jordan shoes sold 126 million units worth in their first year. This is a interesting stat because in Thesis 2:2 it stated that Satan is the price of the air, a word equating to 26, the same as Jordan and the same as Bryant, and the latter being a man who died 1/26 after emulating Michael Jordan Michael Jordan's career. Ooh, that's crazy, boy. Okay. With this knowledge, you can really begin to appreciate just how scripted things are, from history, his story, to news, to sports, to entertainment, to politics, and better yet, you can escape the matrix of deception that they are a part of because of this knowledge. On the subject of entertainment, I want to revisit the man who directed the short film The Black Mamba, the same film that gave away Kobe Bryant's fate nearly 9 years in advance. That was Hollywood Robert Rodriguez, a man having a name summoning to 201 with simple English, a man being born in 1968. Two stats that weren't to be glossed over. As we learned, 201 is a very important number to the Jesuit order, and it is a number that corresponds with the Gematria of the Holy Bible, as well as seven churches of Asia. Were seven churches of Asia. They are the churches. They are the churches referred in Revelation, where each of the seven received a letter, including the Church of Philadelphia, that receives a letter warning of the fate of the false Jews. Okay. Um, including the Church of Philadelphia, that receives the letter warning of the false Jews, refers to as the synagogue of Satan, equating to 223, the same as Philadelphia, and that also discussed in the instrument of prophecy, the key of David, equating to 135, the same as Kobe Bryant. If you're asking who the false Jews are, look no further than the head of the NBA right now, Adam Silver, or who came before him, Dave Stern. And with prophecy in mind, that is where the detail of Kobe Bryant's dying in helicopter accident comes into play. A helicopter is a vehicle named summoning to 666 with Sumerian Gematria, whereas prophecy equates to 666 with Jewish Gematria. Keep in mind the musician Stevie Ray Vaughan died in a helicopter crash as well. A man with the best-selling album on Texas Flood. Oh, the man with the best-selling album of Texas Flood, only for Texas to suffer historic flooding on the 27th year anniversary of his fatal accident. August 27, 2017, a date with 52 numerology, and on the 239th day of the year, the 52nd prime, where the number 52 corresponds with the gematria of prophecy, as well as California, the latter being where Kobe Bryant died. Of course, the number 52 connects the flood and hurricane as well, and the latter word hurricane also sums to 56. And again, the Houston Astros in the 56th season would win the World Series that began 52 days after Matt Harvey became the first pitcher to pitch in Houston after the flooding was done. After the flooding done by Harvey. I should mention in the rigged 113th World Series, The Astros beat the Dodgers from Los Angeles, California. The number the number 666 also reminds us that Kobe Bryant had an official workout called the 666 plan, and that his career high in points scored came in his 666th game, January 22nd, 2006, when he scored 81 points, corresponding with the gematria of Kobe being Bryant, equating to 81 and 54, the exact same as Mark of the Beast, equating to 81 and 54. Let us not forget the rest of his team scored 41 points, corresponding with Kobe Bryant, thus totaling 122 points on January 22nd, or 1/22, corresponding with the gematria of Satanic, summoning to 122. The latter being the name of the value systems of the latter being the name of a value system that is about self-worship, that coincides with the idea of putting the star of the team before the rest of the team, which is the NBA's marketing strategy. Which is the NBA's marketing strategy. The 81 point ritual reminds us of Kobe Bryant's last game as well, where he scored 60 points and his team scored 101 points. Thus, the rest of the team would score 41 points again in a game where Kobe Bryant would exit the court for the last time in his NBA career, with 4.1 seconds left on the game clock. After making his last shot while number 41 of the Utah Jazz was guarding him. As the 101 as for the 101 total points, it is the 26th prime number, and his hometown, Philadelphia, equates to 101 with simple English. Damn. You telling me the nigga 41 was guarding him? Get the fuck out of here. I'll be right back out. That's wild. Eat me a donut real quick. We're on regarding Oh, okay. You can find her. Okay. Okay. All right. Regarding the tributes to 666, the number of the beast and the number of man, Kobe's reported death on January 26, or 1/26. Let us not forget the significance of Genesis 1:26, or that Genesis sums to 666 with reverse Sumerian, or that God sums to 26 with simple English, who regrets making mankind, summoning to 6 6 with simple English. In Genesis 6 6, it also, oh, with simple English, oh shit, who regrets making mankind, summoning to 66 with simple English in Genesis 6 6. It is also for this reason that Nick Saban won his sixth championship at age 66 with 26 points. And building onto the riddle, he used to coach with Bill Belichick, who went on to win his sixth championship at age 66 in Super Bowl 53. In the same stadium, Nick Saban accomplished the feat in 1 year earlier. For the record, that stadium was Mercedes-Benz Stadium, equating to 307, the 63rd prime, where in that game, Belichick and Tom Brady became 6-3 together in Super Bowls. In Tom Brady's 307th NFL game. Even more, Sony Michael scored the only touchdown of Super Bowl 53 for either team, scoring at exactly the 53rd minute of the game. In a sport that plays on a 53rd yard wide field, and where NFL allows 53-man roster, and in a game between the Patriots and Los Angeles, both being names equating to 53. What made Sony's touchdown special is that he was wearing the number 26, and the Super Bowl was 351 days after his birthday, the 26 triangular number, and a year earlier, he had lost in a college football championship to Nick Saban, who scored 26, while Sony was playing for Georgia, his home state. Thus, the bitter taste of losing the rigged college football championship a year earlier was washed away by winning the rigged Super Bowl that we called dead on, Patriots over Rams, before the season even began, just as we had called Alabama to win the championship before the college season had started. It is to say, it was all too predictable. And when Sony Michael put away Super Bowl 53 with his 26-yard run in the closing moments of the first quarter, we all laughed all the way to the bank. I imagine somewhere else some Jesuits were saying, "For the greater glory of God," equating to 351 and 20, equating to 351, the 26 triangular, because the phrase of Latin ad morem del gramer, equating to 172, and Sonny Michael's birthday in February 17th, or 17/2, the same as Michael Jordan, another person having a surname summoning to 26, and who was 56 years old when Kobe Bryant died, the latter number connecting to Society of Jesus. Also, for the relationship between 351 and the Jesuits, let us not forget the first Jesuit Pope, Pope Francis, has a birthday December 17th, has a December 17th birthday, the 251st day of the year. And furthermore, if you are searching through the most iconic images of Michael Jordan dunking, you won't have to look long before you find the one him soaring. It won't take you long before you find the one of him soaring from the free throw line with his legs back, with the game clock shown in the background, 351. 351, the 26 triangular number. Jordan equals 26. Damn! Ain't that some shit? That's why I mean, yeah, that's why it gets, like I said, it gets me incentive to study Gematria so I can start cashing in on these rigged ass games. For one more stat, you should know that Super Bowl 53, when you write out 6, it sums to 16 with Pythagorean, and there were 16 points scored in the Super Bowl 53, reminding us that the 53 is the 16th prime number, and Tom Brady and Bill Belichick picked up their 6th scripted Super Bowl win together. The 16 points were the result of the Patriots' 13-3 win over LA, equating to 13, which is the 6th prime number. And further, Daniel 8, there is a story in how the goat destroys the ram. And Tom Brady was referred to as the GOAT, meaning greatest of all time, after beating after beating the Los Angeles Rams at age 41 at the start of 2019, reminding us that 19 is the 8th prime, not by chance. GOAT sums to 16 with Pythagorean as well. Topping off the ritual, it was at this same moment in history, ESPN began the debate of who was better go, Jordan or Brady. When you have eyes to see the riddles, the riddles are laughable and demented. As for the biblical narratives and the subject of prophecy, keep in mind Kobe Bryant's death in the helicopter was also foreshadowed in a Comedy Central cartoon, Legends of Chamberlain's Heights, where Kobe Bryant literally dies in an exploding helicopter in an episode titled "In the Days" that released on November 16, 2016, a date that can be written 16/11, similar to 1611, the year King James Bible was published, and reminding us that King James LeBron surpassed Kobe Bryant in points scored one day before his demise. You'll notice November 16, 2016 was also a date with numerology of 36, and 666 is the 36th triangular number. Damn! So I wonder if Kobe knew that he was going to die in a helicopter. You think he knew? You think he knew? I don't know. Then to take his daughter as well. It sucks, you know. It's like man, but rest in paradise. Where we at? Alright. If you can, please take a moment to search the small group of graphics used to advertise the show, Legends of Chamberlain Heights. You should discover what I have. For starters, there are multiple graphics with a group of young men wearing basketball jerseys. And they are numbered, and they are 3 in numbers. And the jerseys were, and they are 3 in numbers. And the jerseys they were wearing from left to right are 55, 54, and 100. And each ad with 54 in the center, with 54 front and center. Now, if you think about it, you will notice they're not in order or counting. because if they were 50 or 54 will become 455. And furthermore, we have discussed each of the numbers extensively in this chapter. Consider Super Bowl 54 concluded the 100th NFL season 1 week after the deaths of Kobe Bryant and Gianna Bryant, both equating to 54. And as we stated, the number 55 is important to the Royal and Sigma Pi Phi. And in fact, that Kobe Bryant, a member, died on the 257th day of the Royals' age, being their May 15, 2019 anniversary, when the Los Angeles Lakers and blood sacrifice sums to 257, and 257 is the 55th prime number. As we will learn in the last chapter, the 100th NFL season was called the Year of the Black Quarterback by ESPN prior to the beginning, only because for three black men to take top honors in the league, all of whom were quarterbacks, and in a season equating with the Gematria of African American 70 to 100. Woo! Okay. It says the greatest 54 ritual of all with Legends of Chamberlain Heights, however, is how it relates to Kobe Bryant and the Lakers winning the NBA Finals on June 19th, 2000. Damn. The real King James' birthday to conclude the 54th NBA season, 251 days after the death of Wilt Chamberlain, who passed on October 12, 1999, and was from Philadelphia before dying in Los Angeles, the same as Kobe Bryant, equating to 54. Of course, 251 is the 54th prime, and in light of what we uncovered about Kobe Bryant, the sun and the solar cycle, take another gander at the Legends of Chamberlain Heights advertisements, and notice how some of them show the sun setting with three boys in jerseys, 55, 54, and 100, left to right, with 54 front and center. As you know, sun equates to 54. Another point that should be made is Wilt Chamberlain died in Bel Air, the wealthy and well-known neighborhood in Los Angeles, largely due to the hit TV show starring Will Smith, The Fresh Prince of Bel Air. As you recall in the TV show, Will Smith, who plays himself, is sent from Philadelphia to Bel Air, Los Angeles, because of trouble he was getting into on the basketball courts around his hometown, a story with clear parallels of the life of Kobe Bryant. In Gematria terms, Fresh Prince equates to 59 and 67, the same as Black Mamba and Calabasas, the latter being where the crash occurred on a date with 67 numerology. Further connecting the pieces of the puzzles from Will Smith's 51st birthday, September 25th, 2019, to the date Kobe Bryant died, was 123 days later. The Fresh Prince of Bel Air equates to 123, with Pythagorean Gematria. Keep in mind, helicopter equates to 51, the same as conspiracy, a word that also sums to 123. And Will Smith was 51 years old at the time. You could also say Kobe Bryant equating to 41, died 4 months And one day after Will Smith's birthday, a man who wore the jersey numbers 14 and 41 in varying seasons of The Fresh Prince, playing for the Bel Air Academy basketball team, equating to 54 and 81 in the exact same ciphers as Kobe Bryant. Even more, the acronym on the jersey, IYT, sums to 54 with simple English. And to add to our list of 41, here are a few more. It was reported that Kobe Bryant's helicopter departed at 9:06 and the crash was reported at 9:47, 41 minutes later. Furthermore, it was reported the pilot's name was Ara Zambaya Zobaya, summoning to 41 and 58 with Pythagorean methods, in the same ciphers as Kobe Bryant. Even more, Kobe Bryant died 41 days after Lakers owner Joanne Buss, who had passed December 16, 2019. For another, he died a span of 41 days from his lifetime teammate Shaquille O'Neal, March 6th birthday, causing Shaq to put up a billboard in tribute to Kobe at the LSU campus, his alma mater, who had just won the football championship 13 days before Bryant's demise. For another, Utah, who Kobe Bryant played in his last game against in the NBA, was established January 4th, a date that can be written /1, similar to April 1st, the day Kobe, Japan, was founded. For another 41, Kobe Bryant retired from the NBA in 2016, 41 years after his father was drafted by Golden State, equating to 41 and 58, just like Kobe Bryant. And on the subject of Golden State, you might recall when Kobe played his last game, there was a double header on ESPN taking place with two games being shown at the same time. One was Kobe Bryant hosting 50 shots to score 60 against Utah, and the other was Warriors eclipsing the Chicago Bulls season record of 72 wins by winning their 73rd game in the last game. On their season, led by Steph Curry, born on the 73rd day of the year. March 14th, and whose father, Del Curry, faced Jordan in his 73rd game of the respective season that the Bulls set the record with 72 wins. I bring this up because Kobe Bryant played his last game exactly 678 weeks after Michael Jordan, and at the same time, Steph Curry and Klay Thompson set an NBA record with 678 three-pointers made by two teammates in a single season on the same day. What makes this 678 coincidence meaningful is that both Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant equate to 678 with Sumerian Gematria. And for one last 41, if you could take the time to watch the short film, The Black Mamba, before Kobe hoists the basketball bomb at the helicopter, you can see the timer on the bomb count down to 4.1 and not a tick lower before the camera cuts to the next shot. It is a recent on how Kobe Bryant left the court in the last game against Utah with 4.1 on the game clock after scoring 60 points compared to his team 41 points scored, no different than his career high when he scored 81 and his team scored 41, bringing the team's total score to 122 on January 22nd. Once again, the number 122 has a satanic connection as 67, the latter number again connected to Black Mama, Calabasas, the Fresh Prince, and Fresh Prince. Some tea real quick. Let me sit some. Plug this in real quick. I think the donut gave me life. I'm feeling kind of better. Getting a little sugar. All right. So with regards to Will Smith, the Fresh Prince, he is a man who had some very dark rituals taken. Yeah. With regards to Will Smith, the Fresh Prince, he is a man who had some very dark rituals taking place around him, as is so often the case in the world of celebrity. If you have not read my first book, I covered the story on the death of Will Smith, the NFL star. On the same day, Will Smith, the actor, received a Lifetime Achievement Award from MTV on the stage with gold and black colored theme, the same colored theme of the New England, the same colored theme of the New Orleans Saints, who the NFL player and Will Smith played for. Let us not forget New Orleans equates to 54, the same as Kobe Bryant and Jesuit order. Also relevant at the time, Will Smith, the actor, had just finished the movie Focus, set in New Orleans, about a film about football, gambling, and numbers. If you have seen the film, you might recall the numerology lesson Will Smith gives on the number 55. Not by chance, numerology and Will Smith equate to 55. Not by chance, both numerology, equate to 55. And this is part of why, when you read about the death of his co-star Fresh Prince Galvin Gore, at age 55 on July 14, 2020, one day before her July 15th birthday, a date that can be written 15/7 like 157. As we'll get to it, Smith's song Just the Two of Us also has to do with the drowning of Naya Rivera on July 8, 2020, a date with 55 numerology. I should note Naya Rivera is to remember as the love interest in Kobe Bryant's Jerseyville B2K music video, Why I Love You. And on the subject of Will Smith, Kobe Bryant, Bel Air, and helicopters, keep in mind the same actor, Will Smith, starred in the film I Am Legend, where his family is killed in a helicopter accident. The film title has a Gematria of 47, the same as Bel Air, reminding us that Kobe Bryant died on the date with 47 numerology, and that the emergency phone call for the crash was made at 9:47 a.m. local time, further reminding us that the first 911 call was made on the 47th day of 1968. Let us not forget Black Mamba equates to 211, the 47th prime number. At the same time, Beast equates to 47, corresponding to how helicopter sums to 666. For another 47 word, it is legend with simple English, and it reminds us of the cartoon Legends of Chamberlain Heights, and how it also foretold the faithful end of Kobe Bryant in a helicopter. On the subject of legends, you should seek out the interview Tracy McGrady did with ESPN immediately after Kobe Bryant's death, where he told the reporter that when he and Kobe Bryant were young men in the NBA, Kobe confided in him that he wanted to die early so that he could be immortalized as a legend. If that is true, he got his wish. Not in the way he would have hoped, with his daughter dying as well, and reportedly 7 other people. Very interesting. So did Kobe cue in Tracy that he was told he was gonna die, but just not in that way? To be immortalized as a legend. But when we read the book, we realize it was a ritualistic. He's not the first basketball player to die, but he is a well-known basketball player in the Americas and around the world. So, do they know that they're gonna die in a certain way? Like that was pretty tragic. A helicopter, but then he played in these roles of him throwing a helicopter. He must have known, right? I think he must have known. I don't know if he knew that his daughter was gonna be with him. I feel like he would have had like, all right, maybe not my daughter and 7 other people. Jeez, to be immortalized as a legend, it's crazy, man. It's crazy to die a legend, but you're a living legend. I'm a living legend, right? We're living legends. Fuck all that dying shit. We're gonna die eventually, but fuck. He was, I don't know how old Kobe was. Oh, he said he was 41. All right, coming back. All right. Coming back to the jerseys shown on the graphic for legends of Chamberlain Heights, 55, 54, and 100. To go even further on 55, I would like to tell you something that I have not told you thus far. There's a complementary rule to the Pythagorean ciphers, and it is that for the 19th letter in each respective cipher, when you use these rules, words such as Los Angeles equate to 55, and YHWH, the 4 letter names of God, sum to 26, and same as it does in the Hebrew language, thus being the reason why 26 is the God number. With Pythagorean Gematria, it is S that, and the with Pythagorean Gematria, it is S, and with reverse Pythagorean, it is H. The rule is created because the 19th letter is the only letter you must reduce 2 times using numerology to get a single-digit number in the 26th letter alphabet, for example. It is the same with H in reverse Pythagorean, breaking down from 19 to 10 to 1. So the rule becomes that S can be 1 or 10 with Pythagorean Gematria, and H can be 1 or 10 with reverse Pythagorean Gematria. And for the record, up to this point in the book, we have not used this rule for any calculations outside of the Trump Heights ritual of the 74th birthday that we briefly mentioned earlier, the one that happened the same day the 74th Charles Schwab College concluded. Charles Schwab Challenge concluded, won by the Jewish golfer with the 7/4 birthday, and where Trump Heights, being established in the Jewish nation of Israel, equates to 74 using the rule of the Pythagorean Gematria. That said, I want to emphasize that all you really need are the 4 base ciphers, not including the 19 not including the rule with the 19th letter that you learn in the first chapter to decode adequately. And this is why, up until this book, at least 98 of the calculations made have been with base ciphers exclusively. The advantage of being aware of more ciphers is that as you become more experienced with gematria, it can be insightful to start picking up on it can be insightful to start picking up on rituals that are hidden beyond the first layer of decoding, such as how Los Angeles equates to 55 and a very Los Angeles related death that brought together the people of LA on February 24th, the 55th day of the year, for Kobe Bryant's Staples Center Memorial. Or, as mentioned, how the four letter of God, YHYW, equates to 26, corresponding with the Hebrew language. If you want to learn more about this, I highly suggest reading the first chapter of my first book. That begins with why there are 26 letters in the English alphabet. Something you will find is a major complement to learning about Kobe Bryant's death on the 26th day of the Gregorian year. Also keep in mind the four-letter name. Also keep in mind that the four-letter name of God is the tetragrammaton, something to 58, the same as Kobe Bryant, who again fell to fourth in scoring after being passed by LeBron King James, the day before Kobe's death, and reminding us that the real King James, who had printed and reminding us of the real King James, who had the Bible printed in his name, 1611, died at 58. And like Kobe Bryant, he died unexpectedly. To be fair, you could call it a hazard of being in secret societies. And as you know, secret society equates to 58. Let's see. One. All right, I'm gonna take a break. Yeah, I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna be back at it's 11 right now, so I'm gonna give myself an hour break. So, or I'm gonna come back at 12. I'm gonna come back at 12:30, and we'll finish the rest of the chapter 16. Um, just want to make sure we're at on the subject of secret societies. All right, 251, page 251. Okay, so yeah. All right, y'all. So I'm gonna be back at 12:30, so like an hour and a half, with the rest of the chapter 16. And yeah, let me just change this title real quick. Mm, bit. And then I'll be back. Oh, what the fuck? Come on now. All right, then. Okay, so thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for watching the replay. Shout out to everyone. Shout out to the Soul Group. Happy Full Moon. And your girl, Anita Flying High, is flying out of this third dimensional reality. And I'll see y'all a little bit later. Deuces.